Hello and welcome to the TrainerWise Daily Show. On today's episode, training seniors.
Show me a good time. Oh yeah. Show me a good. Show me a good. Show me a good.
And they can play with the kids and do stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, this is a call out to all strength coaches and trainers out there. If you would like to share your views on a given topic, just go to trainerwise.com. Fill out the contact form. Tell us the topic that's of interest to you, and we'll get you on as soon as possible. We're filling up shows at the moment, currently taking guest speakers. So please do take the time now to contact us there, and we'll get you on. Hello, and welcome to the TrainerWise Daily Show. Today's episode is about training seniors, and our guest to talk about training seniors is Miss Ann Heiser from Encinitas, California. Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Seniors is something that everybody has to work with, and maybe we will start with the definition of seniors since I made up the topic. I guess I'll say, my client's going to kill me for this. If I say over 60, she's going to say, how come you have me doing kettlebells? You have seniors doing kettlebells? What's that about? Trap bar squats? What is this? But yeah, anything, let's say 65 and up, anything that qualifies for, a discount at the local diner or whatnot. But,
well, actually, I've got news for you because the Fitness Association of America has classified the older adult as anybody over 45.
Oh, okay. As long as I didn't undercut it. Over 45. So there's a whole bunch of silver sneakers running around is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. So let me throw the first question at you. The first question is, what are the most important elements to focus on when you're working with seniors? Is there specific things we should work on? Strength, power, endurance, flexibility? I mean, should we do them all at once? What would you say?
I would definitely say balance is one of the most important things, obviously, because there's so many dangers in falling and so on. But I think interest is really important for them too. It's really, in my opinion, and I've been working for seniors about 10 years now, they don't need to build up a lot of strength. What they need to do is they need to have functional fitness so that the activities of daily life are improved and they can still play with the kids and do stuff like that. So I absolutely think that balance is the number one thing.
Gotcha. So when you're saying balance, you mean standing on a Bosu ball with your eyes closed, rotating from the... I'm kidding. I think that's what a lot of people would do back in the day. But, I mean... balance is interesting. I think it's important. You're talking about not falling down, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm talking about grounded, and this is actually a program that I've just developed, and it's really a very different program in that it deals with people that any level. It's really about muscle memory rather than learning something completely new. You remember what you already know, because we all know we have muscle memory. So if you've ever done anything in your life, and many of these people obviously have, they can go back and recruit those muscles, and it just comes back to them. It's great.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine it would. I remember, gosh, this is probably, every time I say 5 years and it's further removed, it ends up being like 10 years ago. I think a study that I was citing, it was about seniors at Stanford. It was a large population, and they had something like 60% reduction in falls just by improving plantar flexion power. So just by doing snappy toe raises, it would improve their toe off during gait, and then they wouldn't shuffle and kick kick little cracks in the sidewalk, fall down, break a hip, and then downhill from there. So I always thought power is a good place to start, but really what it comes down to is not taking a tumble. I know.
And also keeping it interesting for them. We do little clapping rhythms, things to the music where they have to kind of think a little bit and go from one leg to the other. And it's just, keeping it fun for them.
So do you guys do Nintendo Wii at all or anything like that?
They do. They play Wii, but not during my class.
No play. Time to get off. So when you say class, do you work with people usually privately, or is it usually in a group, or a small group, or a large group?
Well, this class that I'm referring to is one that I've been running for about 9 years now, solidly for a week, every single week. And I have people that have come and gone and so on. But I have my core group that really get it. And it's really coming to life right now. I'm excited for it because it really has a huge impact on the person. And I've been getting other people in there. I've been getting athletes in there. I had a couple of athletes come in as guests, and I put them right in the front, and I told my class that they are not going to be able to do what you can do. So you need to watch them and watch their feet, because they're going to struggle for a little bit until they make the connection.
Yeah.
Their muscles memory is going to kick in, and they'll be able to do it, but you'll see for that first moment. So it's really important, you know, for me to integrate that too. And I'm really working towards having a class where you can have old people doing their things, stepping little tiny steps, and you can have athletes that are going full out, and they can be doing the same class.
Oh, that's super cool. Anytime you have people who are like doing bigger or harder or faster speeds, it always motivates the other people in the class. I think that's always fun. The hard thing is keeping those people motivated, I think. Let me ask you, are there specific concerns to working with seniors that people should be considering when you're working with them outside of the general population or even kids?
Absolutely. I mean, working one-on-one is a completely different story to working in a group setting. Right. One-on-one, you get the full paperwork, the PARQ, the everything, all the medication. And medication is a huge thing. I mean, I had to kind of put my foot down and ask the nurses to please wait until after the class before they feed the medication to the participants, because half the time, 10 minutes in, they're already like starting to nod off. You know, and so on. So I've specifically requested that all medication can please, you know, it's 1 to 2 p.m. So if it's possible to keep the medication until 2 p.m., that I've requested.
That's a good point.
It's a huge thing, you know, and obviously chronic conditions, any kind of existing injuries, things that you can see that already are a problem with their range of motion and so on.
Gotcha.
So that's you know, the obvious things that trainers would, you know,
definitely going to focus on anyway. Now, let me ask you this, and I asked this, and I think I already know the answer from the way you're talking about it, because you said you're trying to integrate athletes. If you've taught classes where there's not old people, let's just call them, if there's not older people, and you compare the two, would you say that the senior class is on par? It's just like teaching, you know, a little different, but as interesting, as motivating, as fun for you, or does it ever get like, you know, kind of mundane at all?
No. You see, when you're at this level, I've been teaching, I'm an older Robosaurus. I've been teaching aerobics since before we even had shoes.
Oh, boy.
Seriously.
And now we're back to no shoes again. So
yeah. So, you know, it's such an interesting program in that you, as an athlete, can get a really good workout just doing the stuff that we do with the older people. And, you know, in South Africa, we have a little term for them, and they're called toppies. So the toppies, yeah, and I'm a toppy now, you know, I mean, anybody kind of, I guess in those days it was over 30, we called toppies, mom and dad, you know.
You are, yeah.
So, but it's a really, really interesting program, and I really think that the principles of this program, and it's called Grounded Cross-Training, the Nooks and Crannies, are far-reaching. I mean, even my 2 athletes that I'm training have said to me, wow, it makes a very big difference, because it's really a consciousness that you employ, and you can walk away with it after 1 class. So it's really helpful to them, because they have a different sense of being on the ground.
That sounds really cool. I mean, actually, I would like to see a video. I will ask about your website stuff at the end of the segment, but I wanted to ask, is there something that, this is what I find sometimes when I work with athletes, ex-athletes, and I imagine everybody who's older has their ex-something, ex-ballet dancers, ex-skiers, ex-something. Yeah. They kind of feel like they already know things, and then you don't got to tell them. Do you ever get any of that, or is there a lot more of that, or the same amount?
This is one of the biggest reasons why I do not walk into gyms mostly anymore. And if I do walk into an actual gym, I try to keep my blinkers on and just go to where I'm going. And you know, I'm sorry to say that, but you know, I normally, when I work with people, it's in a group setting where it's just a fitness center or a room. Right. Or a home gym. And right. My thing to, when somebody says to me, I can do 200 sit-ups, then I only just ask them one question, and that's show me one. Anyway, push-ups, bench press, anything like that, show me one.
I think that's pretty interesting. When you get that, I think people, how do you say, I think there's a need to want to prove. So a lot of times you'll hear the saying, oh, it's not the weight. It's just, you know, I just can't do it like that. It's like because it's too heavy, let's give you lighter. And probably I'm speaking more to men, or but I that's the one thing I was questioning. What about specific devices? Do they like to use medicine balls? Do they like to use exercise bands? Is there certain things they hate? Do you use kettlebells with these people? What's your modality
they
of
love
choice?
the bender ball. You know, the bender ball. They absolutely love. I actually work with them with a bar. I've cut like 4.5-foot pieces of PVC piping, you know, plastic.
Yeah.
You know, plumbing, piping, whatever.
Right.
They go through range of motion with that, and it's great because it's light. They can move through a range of motion that they haven't really experienced before. So it's easy for them to work with a bar. I love elastic resistance for them. It's great. It's easy. You can make it easier, harder, whatever, just by standing closer or whatever, far away from them. So yes, all of those things I think are great, and resistance is important, but there's no reason why these, you know, seniors should be picking up a heavy stack of weights, in my opinion.
Yeah, if they're not going to be doing it on their daily life, like you said.
Right.
So like, it's funny. I love those plastic bars too, especially if you're using a group class, because you can just get ankle weights and attach them to the end of the bars to up the weight for people who it's too light for. But that's what I like to do. I guess the last question is what are the oldest people you've worked with? I mean, in this case, I know you have probably people who are doing it and then maybe they get too ill and cannot continue. But what's the oldest person who's in your class at the present?
At the present, I have two 95-year-olds who are spunky as anything, and they are absolutely amazing. But I did have a 100-year-old lady before I went to South Africa. She was there every week with a little walker, and she would totally keep time to the beat. She had it all. She'd keep it small.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's one of the problems with working with seniors, is that you lose them. That's one of the job dangers, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it. These people have accumulated their wisdom throughout their life. They have such great stories to tell.
I bet.
Absolutely love seniors, and they're so fun. And there's no lie. I absolutely enjoy them so much. And to see them, you know, I do a certain grounding basic, and I have them stand up after this, and a lot of the time they can't believe they've just stood up. And they're like standing up, whoa. So that's one of the things that really gives me joy, and it's the main thing that I just think that I'm here for, is to bring out a program, master trainer program, that people can learn and go out and do and help people while they're sitting around with them. You know, caregivers sit around with people a lot.
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to have something that you can give them while they're doing that.
Yeah, that's a big motivator. I mean, I have a goal. When I'm 100 years old, I saw a guy. It was a 100-year-old guy. I think about that mentality. You said these 95-year-olds are really spunky. A guy on television, he was trying to break the record for, I think, 100 meters for people who are 100 years and older. And on the way over, he had bloodied his elbows and his knees because he had fallen twice on the way to the track. And his kids were like, "Dad, don't do it," you know. And granted, you know, your kids are pretty old when you're 100 years old, you know. And he's like, "Shut up, just because you can't do it." And so he gets up there and he runs this very slow 100 meters and he breaks the record, which I think there was like one or two guys who had gone before him. And so I saw him and I was just thinking, that's slow. I can beat that. So I literally in my head, I'm 30, almost 34. I have a 50-year-old goal when I'm 50 years old where I want to be. And then 100 years, that's my goal, is to break that guy's record. I would love to be one of those crazy, spunky people in a class like yourself, you know, where people are like, come on, man, get after it. That sounds fun to me.
It's absolutely amazing. I can tell you that it's the most rewarding thing. And, you know, I'm 50. Mm-hmm. So when you get to this age and you've been teaching aerobics for 30 years, it's nice to know that there's something that you can still teach, that you don't have to beat your body to pieces doing. Okay, that is the precise thing and the beauty of this whole program, because it's something that everybody can teach, and you can go further with your career. You know, you don't have to give it up just because you can't do boot camp anymore.
Exactly. And thank you for coming on. If people want to hear more about that class or let's say the program that you put together, more about what you have going on with seniors, want to get information from yourself, where's the best place to contact you and get that information?
My website is annheiser.com, and that's ANNHEISER.com. HEIZ for zebra, ER.com. My phone number is 760-612-5557. That's 555 and 7.
Gotcha.
And I actually am offering open to the public for the first time my class, and it's in Del Mar at La Vida Del Mar. My address details are on there. My friend and I, Debbie, often give workshops, and we do a wellness workshop, which is really great. Teaches you how to incorporate turmeric and apple cider vinegar and coconut oil and all that into your diet. We do a little short section of grounded, and that we're going to be offering again soon. So the handout notes are on my website that you can download.
Super cool. And thank you so much. I like the enthusiasm towards this topic. I think people are going to enjoy everything you had to say on here. Good. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Show me a good time. Oh yeah. Show me a good time. Oh yeah.